Hello everyone and welcome back to another drop analysis. I guess a lot have been waiting for the Miles Morales drop analysis because it was a very popular drop on Veve, and we have seen some very strange market activity. Later, a lot of people pointing out that there were a lot of new wallets that got the drop and then dumped the collectible afterwards, a lot of flipping happening. So I wanted to look in the data and see what I actually see there. But as I pointed out on Monday, I had some problems identifying the Miles Morales tokens. And that's basically because in ImmutableX that also uses the ImmutableX API. As you can see, there's still a lot of tokens that are minted and that come without all the metadata. So you see here are some examples where we do have the metadata, but then we have some examples like this token that was minted 2 minutes ago that just comes without data. And I had the same problem with the Miles Morales tokens, but then I did some digging and I found another way to kind of pull the data, let's say, where I do get at least the name and the rarity and the mint number, not the complete metadata, but enough to do this analysis. So I'm very happy to now finally bring you a quick update. But as I'm short on time, I won't go over all the stuff that I actually had planned to look at it, but I will do a more in-depth analysis on the weekend if I find the time there. But I didn't want to wait until then to bring you some data. So as always, before we start, if you like this type of content, don't forget to leave a like. It does help my channel. So without further ado, let's look at the data. So let's start by looking at the minting of the tokens, which were the wallets that which landed a collectible on drop. And I look at it, or I like to look at it by cohort. That means when did the wallet had the first activity, so then since when is the wallet active on Veve. So we have cohorts since December 2021 and October, which we were only halfway through at that point in time. So obviously our largest cohort is from December 2021 because it's not just that month, but on that day it was when, or that month was when the ImmutableX migration happened. This basically is the cohort that includes all the wallets that came into Veve before December 15th, 2021. And then each of the other months is just the wallets that had their first activity during that month. So of course we see that almost 65% of the wallets that landed a drop on the Miles Morales were wallets from the older cohorts. And only about 6.5% of those wallets that landed a drop were actually from the month of October, so wallets that came in during the months of October, or let's say the first 13 days of October, because the drop was on October 13th. Okay, so then I look at the net accumulation, and here is where it only gets interesting, because the net accumulation is when I look at, so a wallet either landed a drop or not. So this we would have here, this column is 0, are all the wallets that did not land a drop. 1 other wallet that landed a drop, and here's basically until yesterday all the activity that happened in the secondary market. So the people were buying and selling, and with how much tokens did they end up with. So currently how many tokens or how many Miles Morales are they holding. So if we just look at this column for a moment, which are the people or wallets that did land a Miles Morales on drop, what did they do in the aftermarket until yesterday? And we did see that a lot of them, 1,686 of them, they actually ended up with a net accumulation of 0. That means they sold all their tokens. And this is quite a high percentage. That's what I put up here. So we had a total amount of tokens minted that were 2,730, which was a really, let's say, small drop. So 62% flipped their collectible, so they didn't hold on to it. And only 38% in this case did hold on to the token that they received on drop. And this is quite surprising, at least to me, because when I compared to the previous analysis I did, for example, for the not only the Mickey promo, which was a promotion, but also the Gold Moments Finale, which might be comparable because it was also considered a very a grail drop. Maybe not that popular as Miles Morales, but it was considered an important drop as well, or important collectible. And there we saw, I think it was 27% of flippers. Currently in most of the drops we see like kind of a 20 to 30% of people that flip their collectible after the drop. But in this drop we had a 62% of people that landed a Miles Morales on drop, but they didn't hold onto it and they flipped it afterwards. And only 38% they kept accumulating afterwards. So the second column is just people that did not land something on the drop, but they traded in the secondary market. So here it's also always interesting to see those that didn't land a drop, but also have a net balance of 0. So these were just people trading in the secondary market, like buying and selling, taking advantage maybe of the initial hype of that drop, but walking away with the profits basically and not keeping the collectible. Here would be the people that did not land anything on drop, but then accumulated in the secondary market. Yeah, it's always also interesting to see. Here we have two people. Like here we have one who didn't land anything on drop, but he accumulated 18 collectibles in the secondary market. And here we have one who landed a collectible on drop, but he still accumulated up to 14 of those Miles Morales in the secondary market. So this is already quite interesting to see, but now with the metadata it gets more interesting, because now finally we can go into the different rarities of the drop. So we had 3 rarities in this drop. The rare, ultra rare and secret rare. I would have thought that these percentages might be different for the different rarities. You might have thought that maybe if you land a secret rare you're more likely to hold it. So let's look at the numbers. And quite surprisingly I saw a similar ratio for all 3 rarities. So here we can look. Here we have the Spider-Man animated, which is the secret rare. So we had a total of 160 that were able to be minted on the drop day. And of those that 160, 99 sold their collectible. So in general, in this drop, each wallet was only able to get 1 collectible. So we didn't have any wallets that landed several on drop, just for information. But yeah, so out of the 160, 99 sold their collectible and didn't purchase another collectible in the secondary market, or didn't purchase another Miles Morales in the secondary market. We don't know what they did with the funds. This is also 62%, and we have another like 38% that kept their secret rare Miles Morales. So it's very curious to see that kind of the proportion was similar here, or in general similar across the rarities. Then for accumulation, we have 1 wallet that accumulated 3 secret rare Miles Morales. Then we go to the Hadi season. I think this was the common, if I'm right. Yeah. So here this is a common. We had 1,660 total editions, and here as well we saw that out of those that got minted, 1,028 were sold. So this is also 62%. It's crazy that it's like the exact numbers, and we have 38% of those that held or currently hold at least 1 or more. We see here we have the 2 people that one that accumulated 14 of this Miles Morales, and the other person that we saw previously with 18 Miles Morales. All 18 are the hoodie Miles Morales, so it seems to be a popular one. And yeah, then the last one, the Ultimate Spider-Man, was the ultra rare. It's only slightly different. We had out of the 910 that were able to be minted on drop, 559 were sold or flipped, while 351 kept their Miles Morales they got on drop. And then for accumulating, here we have 1 wallet that accumulated 8 of these ultra rare. Yeah, so this is already quite interesting to see. It's the first drop that I analyzed that way, where I see such a high percentage of flippers, and it's surprising because it was supposed to be kind of a really popular character, really a grail, and but I don't know. Put in the comments what are your theories on it. I think it might be just due to the market conditions we currently have on Veve. People are more likely to flip their collectibles after the drop, because you usually, when the next grail is announced, then prices drop again. So maybe the idea here for those flippers is to like sell now in the hype and then buy back the collectible later. I don't know, but it's interesting to see. So now what I also wanted to see is like the same behavior, but by cohort. Was there a difference between the wallets the old wallets or compared to the newer wallets? in terms of like flipping or holding onto the wallet. So here I have a table, and here I only filtered the ones that landed a collectible on the drop. So we have only the 270-30 that were wallets that did land the collectible on drop. And then here again we have the cohorts, as I explained earlier. And then here we have the net balance. And of course we had the 1,686 wallets that got a collectible on drop but then sold it. And we see that of course the majority are from the December cohort, but it's just because it's the oldest cohort and the largest, because as I said, it's not only the December, but it's kind of all the 2021 wallets, or wallets that were active, became active during 2021. So you might think that it's actually the old wallets that are flipping and not the newer wallets, but yeah, we have to take into account the cohort size here and the percentage. So if we look at it percentage wise, like over row wise, we see like here it would be all the wallets that are from the December cohorts, which are 1,441. What is the proportion of the wallets that actually flipped? So in this case, it's 44%. So even here, it's not that low. You would assume that the old wallets, those that before the migration that are still here, are the kind of the true collectors and all that. But still, 44% of those old wallets decided to flip the collectible. And then of course we see as we get to the more recent cohorts that the percentage or the proportion of those wallets that landed the drop, those who sold, actually increases. So we see the last 3 months, the wallets that landed something on drop, like 90% of those wallets flipped the collectible right after the drop. So I mean, from this data, we cannot say that necessarily these wallets are only bots, that they only have like bot accounts that came in since August, because we have seen in other drops that I have analyzed that people did not flip that much. But it's also understandably maybe that the wallets that came in more recently, they came in other market conditions. Trading now on Veves is much more different than on the beginning of the year. Everyone who has been here knows that the game basically has changed, and maybe that's how it's going to be during the bear market, that the game will be more around flipping and trying to grow your collection that way. So this is all the data that I got for now. Of course, there was a lot of more things that I wanted to look at because I also have like the mint numbers, so looking at if someone accumulated basically low mint numbers, which are the lowest mint numbers that we can get for each collectible. I think I did see that for the secret rare there's not the 41, or I didn't see it. So I think the lowest one was 43 or even 45. So I will have to go back and check that again. But yeah, for now, this is what I got, and I wanted to share it with you. But also stay tuned, because I have been talking with OMI Daily Burn. Those of you who don't know his account, so he always posts updates on the OMI token. He's been tracking the OMI token since like forever. And he's also going to start a YouTube channel. So definitely check him out, and I have been talking with him, and he's also been part of the reason why I have been able to find the way how to get to the metadata. So yeah, he's going to bring out a video also on the Miles Morales drop, I think during the following days, maybe today or the next couple of days. And he also had been really investigating like the wallets. So I'm really looking forward to that video, and go give him a follow. And yeah, let's see what he found out about it. I'm very looking forward to that video, and also for more content coming from him. I think he will also start to do more content like me, going into the analysis, also a lot of from the ImmutableX data and all that. I really love to see that more people now are starting to use the data for analytics and all that. More content coming. So yeah, that's everything from me for you today. Leave a comment, tell me what you think about the data, and stay tuned for the next one.